Roll VTA.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
5, 4, 3, 2,
1.
Yesterday, I announced on this program that I was going to commit public suicide. Admittedly an act of madness.
Call me grave digger, always digging up the past. Look to watch the flame flicker in the middle of my glass. Sitting grasping on a trigger while I'm tripping over grass. Thinking I'm a nasty witness to my business hit with mass. Laughing all the way to Christmas, your addiction is a blast. It crashes mine to piss away, no conviction, not a dash. You have me flying high for days, so no sickness comes to crash. While a smile upon my face, I'm the prick that's built to last. Like I'm climbing around the space where restriction needs to crack. All the silence on the pain, with I'm living to sort of drab. Where violence is a strain, what's the mission or the plan? This life I fail to buy, its destiny is in my hands. Take a look at all the rides, million grannies of sand. It's the motherfucking pilot, cause the plans become trash. Sky may be burning violet while existence faces black. I hope the sun that's shining can't dry up the blood that's on the path. I know I'm from the west where it's always piss wet, but living through these times is the biggest shit yet. Written a million little lines about the evil I'm stressed. This is just the beginning of the film, what happens next? Staring out a window at a world so out of touch, and tell if I am just a sicker with a lousy sense of luck. And sniffing up the cynicism, puffing up the tender book. Expressions of freedom in a prison fence with scum. So much repression of evil, where's all the blessings due to come? There's a lesson I was creeping around the corner there to punch you back into reality, into a path of depravity. I don't even need designs to relax into fantasy. I haven't felt the panic since this candle started blackening. I'm so down the battery, I see no tasking all that's happening. Family, a wound that's always grappling. Hold me in your room to be abstained from all the damaging actions in my realm. I'm always down to bout, I pass it all around. Here behold my spot of doubt. My passion is profound to leave foes crawling on the ground. Got a hatchet tall and proud to leave combatants in the mound. I know I'm from the west where it's always piss wet, but living through these times is the biggest shit yet. Written a million little lines about the evil I'm stressed. This is just the beginning of the film, what happens next? I know I'm from the west where it's always piss wet, but living through these times is the biggest shit yet. Written a million little lines about the evil I'm stressed. This is just the beginning of the film, what happens next?
I just ran out of bullshit.
Alright, cut him off.
Leave him on.
Am I still on there?
If this is how he wants to go out,
I don't know any other way to say it, except that I just ran out of bullshit.
Yeah. Look, Mr. Schumacher's right here. You want to talk to him?
Bullshit is all the reasons we give for living. If we can't think of any reasons of our own, we always have the God of bullshit. We don't know
Tom, what is it?
Going through all this pointless pain, humiliation, and decay, so there better be someone somewhere who does know. That's the God of bullshit.
He's saying that life is bullshit, and it is. So what are you screaming about?
Man is a noble creature.
I got a key ring in my wallet, my weed tip is the bomb. It's my relationship with hip-hop, if I treat like a promise. I lit a split for Cypress Hill, smoked a bong at the Chronic. I dropped a pill called Eminem and shot some Wu-Tang to be honest. And ever since then I've been ventured from Compton, Houston to Bronx. With the help of Melly, Mel, Bambada, Kaiser, to Blossom. Now lads and girls from around the world give their words a deposit. Some men are masters from the birth, while all others get to talking. It's our own separate universe, you got the proof shit you can't walk into. Those who do dirt, your career and crew is lined and chalk. So-called words was the oldest shit you've heard. The ill mind of pops, and I'm your nurtured for the verses. Search for the right time to rob them. Your fans will shit in their diapers, drink fizzy drinks and get hyper. Your entire entourage of kids, I bet that sings like a fighter. On a mic, your mama bought you're a drunk teen girl's advisor. I pummel mother pussy, will you feed teeny tiny vaginas? Pencil or pen, adventure into your den. Pick the children or men that see the light or dead ends. He who defends the right to speak from our heads. Defeat is not in the pledge. Don't fear the means or bar said. Just get smacked. Get smacked. Get smacked. Get smacked. Get smacked. Just get smacked. You must be sick with a virus while I am sick with the lyrics. I'm not a drinker of whiskey, but I will sip on your spirit. With your stylish looking peers, I give a fuck for appearance. I've got substance in my rear, got a coat that's interfering. I'm the weird and the fearless. In terms of skill, you're not near. It's a killer beast project, pass with profits. You say I'm a dreamer, I got high in a shit box. I don't drive bikes or a Beamer. I wear a shite from 99, not a skin type believer. Made a living digging holes, now I'm dishing out features. Had enough of pigeonholes and these to criminal dealers. Sweeter schemers, leeches, and the back garden peepers. Kneeling to evil demons so you get hacked out with cleavers. You're sending word to Jesus, but all you get's the receiver. Saint Peter is a pussy, I am a golden retriever. Jason's feast is so cushy while I'm smoking on this reefer. Check your fever for the temperature, lights and blows like a creeper. Pencil or pen, adventure into your den. Pick the children or men that see the light or dead ends. He who who defends the right to speak from our heads. Defeat is not in the pledge. Don't fear the means or barset. Just get smart. Yeah. Get smart. Get smart. Get smart.
No man.
You get smart, yeah? You get fucking smart, me, are you? Smart. What the fuck are you looking at, huh?
No man.
You getting smart with me? What's with these corny pasty lays, these cheese cream mayonnaises, these evacuate, there's nothing gang about Patrick Swayze. I beat the accent, you'd swear your man was hanging in Manny lately. Used to bang in the alleys while his daddy used to bait him, snatching handbags with a bally, with a baseball bat. He cave, you're just a hamster in Amsterdam, imagining master plans, lathered and laughter. You get romantic with the cameraman, call yourself a Baptist, or serve you on a platter. Or a fan could feed this clan of cannibals, the fatter the lamb. Some say the blacker the berry, some say the sweeter the juice, but you man act like a fairy and lean near toward the noose. Our faction seen as somewhat scary that hoards all the loot. I pass you the Virgin Mary, holy water I pour onto you. You got a snapbox of bullshit without a portion of truth. You rock a padlock round your neck with such a grasp on your youth. Such a grasp on your youth. Pencil or pen, adventure into your den. Pick the children of men to see the light or dead ends. He who defends the right to speak from our heads. Defeat is not in the pledge. Don't fear the means or barset. Pencil or pen, adventure into your den. Pick the children of men to see the light or dead ends. He who defends the right to speak from our heads. Defeat is not in the
Two
pledge.
tunes back to back from A10Sín, Mon Soon and Get Smart. We have A10Sín here in the studio, aka DJ Green, aka Conor McMurrow, and we also are joined by our very own Laura Dunn.
Hello, welcome Conor.
Thanks very much for having me.
Anyways, we'll get started. Anyways, I suppose there's an awful lot to cover here in so short a time because we've got two artists here. We've got DJ Green and we've got A10Sín. We'll start off with the plug for the raffle. Can you give us a shout about that?
To put it bluntly or briefly, basically it's like a car raffle you'd see on Facebook, except it's for beats, and it's not one particular beat, it's any beat of mine or beats depending on how much entrance I get. It's numbers 1 to 50 for now, unless I get a serious amount of entrance. €5 per number. Depending on how many entrants I get will depend on how many beats are won, and if I get a lot it might even be first, second and third prizes. But for now, just say for example it's £5 per number, and the winner gets taken out of a hat, and you win any beat you choose from my catalogue. So it's not one particular beat. You can pick the one that you like.
And there's a lot of beats.
There's a lot. A lot of them just have been sitting there for a long time. So it's,
and what kind of things can they be used for? Obviously as backing tracks, but
anything. Like, I mean, primarily rappers, but I've had beats used in film soundtracks. Nothing massive now, short films and that. And I've had people use them on their Let's Play YouTube channels and stuff like that. So look, I don't really mind what you use it for, like, but it's because generally I'm selling beats for 50 quid a pop. So if you can't afford that, it's a nice opportunity that you throw in a £5 or a tenner and you might win one.
And it's a bit of fun as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we'll be using one for a podcast as well. So there
definitely. So that's the production side. DJ Green would be the production side of this whole thing. And obviously A10Sín. What's going on with that then? Why did you choose to kind of separate the two? So A10Sín's more the rapping side of things, DJ Green's the producing thing. Yeah,
there was a bit of mystique there. There's a few elements that revolve around that. Was mainly I was producing for years and I'd kind of been writing lyrics here and there, but for me it was nerves. Like I always preferred to be in the background. I would have been someone who got stage fright. Like, I'm not someone who's anxious or anything like that at all, but that was the one thing. Getting up at stage was kind of a different story. And I knew people might be biased toward it because, you got that Irish begrudgery in your hometown sort of thing. It's like you're already getting enough shit for being a rap producer from Connemara, you know what I mean? So I knew that I'd get that for being a rapper and within the scene too. So I wanted to be kind of unknown. So I stuck on the Jason mask and made up all these rubbish stories about I'd met this guy called A10Sín. It was even as crazy to say I met him in the Wicklow Mountains fucking hiking, and we just got talking. He turns out he was a rapper and I was a producer, and he was going to prison for a long sentence, and he wanted to get all these songs recorded. And like for ages after, like people that I'd known for years, like, didn't know that I was him. Like, I had people really, hanging on to the fact that we were not the same person. Like, even though it was just literally me with a mask, I wasn't putting in any other extra effort. I wasn't wearing different clothes, putting on a different voice or anything like that. Some people copped, but for years, as I said, a lot of people didn't realize it. And then eventually, now it's out in the open. Like, most people would know that we're both the same person. Like, but it was cool that I kept it up for a long time. People didn't realize, but yeah, no, I just wanted people not to think that, oh, this is DJ Green rapping. It's just some other guy. And yeah, it worked out for the most part. Like,
so did you get a lot of good feedback when you were kind of had the whole secret going on?
Generally, like, because I wanted as well people to tell me I was shit if I was shit, because they wouldn't if they thought it was me. They'd be nice to me, and yeah, generally I got, because you see as well, I wasn't getting so much attention, no pun intended, from rappers and producers per se. It was mostly just people I knew. So like, by their standards, anyone who was getting up and rapping was pretty good, like, because it was something that they either couldn't do or didn't, or wouldn't have the balls to do, I guess. But yeah, when the time came that I was getting more attention from rappers and producers, like, yeah, like, I've gotten mostly positive feedback. Like, most people aren't going to go out of their way to tell you you're rubbish unless you're being extremely deluded and offensive toward other people. Like, but it's kind of like, if you've got the flow on point, you've got the rhymes on point, the production and mixing is solid. Like, it's not, it's obviously it's subjective as to whether you like it or not, but it's kind of like there's bad music and there's just, it ticks all the boxes. So like, it's not a bad song, it's just not my thing. That's kind of the worst kind of criticism I've ever got. I got some bad reviews before off one particular guy on YouTube, but I think he just had a kind of a bit of an erection for me, to be honest. Right. Like, spending like he had like 15-minute YouTube videos where he's reviewing people, and like
these react videos,
but 7 or 8 minutes of like 5 episodes were dedicated to ripping me to shreds, like, and I just found it hilarious, to be honest. Like, and it was typical as well that more people had heard the reviews than actually heard the music. And like, while I took his points on board, it just seemed like a personal attack for the most part. Like, it was like, okay, the music points, while I disagree on some level but agree on other levels, it's like, that's fair. But like, it just went a bit overboard. But like, why are you bringing up this personal stuff? It's like he was kind of attacking me. Like, I was like, right. I don't know who this guy is. Like, but besides that, no, I've only gotten good stuff, and I'm confident in myself. Like, I know that by no means I'm top 5 rappers in the country, but I know I'll improve more and more. And if you didn't rate any of my last projects, then hopefully you'll rate my next project. And if you don't rate that one, then you'll rate the one after. I'm just going to keep climbing. But I think I've considering I only started in 2019, I've come on leaps and bounds. Like, that's one thing I'll say. Considering as well that before that I would have been too nervous to ever really rap out loud at all. Like, so
I think that's with a lot of people. Like, look, I couldn't do it. I can barely string a sentence together. Like, I have to have fucking. But just bringing it back to the producing side of the DJ Green side of it, who's the most famous person that you've done produced for? Or what's the biggest?
Well, obviously, I mentioned to you earlier, I won't reveal any information. There is some stuff going on in the background, but that'll be kept secret for the foreseeable future. But most famous definitely would probably be Project Pat. He would be brother of Juicy J, who was a member of 3 6 Mafia. They won Grammy Awards for one of their songs before. Right. The way I got through to him was not directly. I was doing a song with a Mexican group called South Coast Army, and they showed me the initial song, and it was one of the members on it, Thugly Main, who was doing the hook on the song, and then they sent me the final version later on. It was Project Pat, and it was the same hook, but it was their hook. So like, initially I kind of thought, did they rip it somewhere? But no, it's legitimate. Like, he's on the song. Like, so yeah, okay, it wasn't me who directly got involved with him, but like, yeah, I produced a song with Project Pat in it. And then if you want to talk more direct stuff, I'd say I've done stuff with some very small time Wu-Tang affiliates. Like, right. you wouldn't have heard of them. Like, they've got like hundreds of affiliates. Like, these guys would be kind of the end of the barrel, not to discredit them anyway, but they wouldn't be too famous as opposed to, like, say, Sons of Man or Kill Army or the Grave Diggers, who would be Wu-Tang affiliates. And then I've done a tune with Upfront from the Split Prophets in the UK, and like, they'd got a couple of million views and a good few songs, like, and I've brought him over here for a gig as well. Besides that, like, there's a good few Irish artists that are on the higher end of the spectrum too. Like, on
this show, quite a lot of the beats are actually your beats. Like, they're not your. it's not Attention specifically. It's a lot of them are your beats, but also as well. The Attention stuff, like you have a type of an imagery there that's persona, like the kind of dark, kind of
sure.
The mask and all that. Where did that all come from? And there's a bit of tongue in cheek as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Does this kind of take the piss?
Well, that's just my sense of humor, and I've always been like that. I've always been a very sarcastic messer. Like, you know, I was always in trouble in school. I was always causing hassle in some shape or form. Like, so, like, yeah, it's a good way of kind of expressing that. And there's the darker side of things too. Like, it's like like, you know, it's just kind of like I like to kind of go all out with any emotion. Like I said to you before, and this has always kind of been my thing. Like, it's like I feel like people are too vague when they're doing angry songs. It's just so generic. It's like, oh, I'm upset. It's like, what are you upset about? Like, oh, you know, I don't know. Like, I'm a bit sad, or, you know, it's never to the point. Like, and it doesn't actually, like, I like to, like, anger and hatred and bitterness and that sort of stuff. Like, it's an ugly feeling. Like, so why not make a song that's as ugly as possible? Like, you know, because I think people are almost embarrassed to admit, you know, how angry they might get about something, or how sad they might get about something, or how happy they might get about something. Like, people are often, like, reserved in terms of holding back their enthusiasm for something, or their sadness or anger, whereas I've always just kind of been like, if I feel a certain way, I'm going to be straight to the point, like, and that's just the kind of way I deal with my music, like.
So what's the kind of, can you give an overview of the kind of subjects that you rap about?
Well, I kind of have, like, I'm in a group with Jason Croak, who's Trust, who's on the label Bad Arts Entertainment, with me and a few other guys, Size B, Callum Drought, Bubba J, Big Man Davey. I hope I'm not forgetting anyone there. But that stuff is more like inspired by, like, the likes of Costello, Lethal Dialect, Scary Era. It's kind of like, you know, conspiracy type stuff, and more like, you know, stuff, you know, looking at stuff through the eyes of, like, you know, Republicans and even terrorists, rebels, war, genocide, all that stuff. It's more kind of real subjects, I guess. And then my own stuff, I kind of did more of kind of Slim Shady style stuff, where it's like, you know, wacky and dark and more personal too. Like, I've done one project with a guy called Shy Son from Cork, and that was just like pure, just kind of like almost happy music in a sense, like as happy as it could get, like poppy and kind of jumpy and upbeat and stuff like that. But yeah, like, I am more on the kind of dark side of things, and I will kind of throw out shock value. But again, it's just it's maybe not in the sense of what people consider to be real. You know, real is, you know, your mental health and, you know, your family and love and all that stuff. But to me, that is real because it's my sense of humor.
Well, also as well, you were on about the emotion that you're putting across, like that anger, like
outwardly. But yeah, I've had a lot of stuff happen to me in the past, and I probably have repressed anger there and stuff like that. And it's kind of the best way of dealing with it. A lot of people, you know, you can bitch all you like about the kind of music I make or whatever, like stuff I say in my songs, but it's like, I'm not attacking people in real life who might take out their anger on other people. Like, that's nearly more acceptable to be this, you know, ratty little bastard who just takes their shit out on everyone else, as opposed to, oh, he said some ridiculous shit in a song. It's like, yeah, but it's true. Like, you know, like, you know, if you don't like it, don't listen to it. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, as I said, like, it's kind of like, I'll almost deal with stuff directly with music as opposed to real life. You know, it's like, you know, I'm not really bothered fighting with people in real life. It's like, music is kind of a good way of expressing yourself. Like.
So you've had a bunch of collaborations with other musicians.
Yeah.
But would you say now you're finding more success with Attention than DJ Green? Do you think it's going to go that way? Or would you like to keep it on the same level?
See, like, I definitely am, like, say in terms of the label, I'm definitely happier being kind of at the forefront, and it's easier to do that as a rapper. Whereas a producer, and because I'm kind of managing the label in terms of social media and stuff like that, I'd be sitting in the background. And we're not exactly making, you know, piles of money. So, like, it's kind of like, if I'm going to be doing anything, I want to be there at the front, kind of, you know, and be someone, a face in the label as a rapper and stuff like that. So in terms of being more successful, I'm sure, yeah, like, because I've focused more on it since I've been rapping. Like, I'm still producing and stuff like that. But before that, it was kind of like I was doing my producer albums every once a year. I'd get a variety of rappers on my beats, and we'd put together an album. But now, I guess, yeah, Attention is more like the focus in a sense, like, because I guess as well, I know how to make beats. You know, I can make a, not to boast, but I personally think I can make a fire beat in 5 minutes, like, whereas rapping, I'm still kind of really honing my craft, like, so there's kind of less of a focus on the beats, that sense. So yeah, like, you know, I think Attention will be the face of Conor McMurrow. in terms of my hip hop career, if you want to call it that, as opposed to DJ Green. Like,
With the Jason mask or without?
we'll see, you know, like I want to evolve the character. That's the thing. Attention to me as well as more of a character. So that's why I can kind of get away with saying a lot of the things I say, or kind of, you know, delving into all these various things. I'm not trying to get up there and say like, oh, I'm a gangster, I'm a serial killer, I'm this, that, and the other. It's like, it's a character. So I'm, you know, like MF Doom or something like that.
Yeah.
They're the kind of guys who inspired me. Like, I like to be this kind of elusive kind of, you know, people ask questions like, who's this guy? What's he all about? What's true? What's not? And it's like, a lot of the time the stuff you probably think is true isn't, and a lot of stuff that I'm rapping about you think is not true is, you know. And as well, another part of it is I keep the neutral accent. Like, I don't put on an accent. I've kind of got a very boring regular accent, so it may not be as attractive or maybe as real in a sense in terms of a lot of things I say. So I
what's the violent accent like? That's great.
Yeah,
We like that around here, yeah.
Yeah, but I will say, you know, a thick Dublin accent or a Northern accent or a Limerick accent or Cork accent naturally just for me sounds a bit better on rap, like. And people generally will kind of exaggerate their accent a bit too, like, whereas I just kind of keep it, you know, like, not necessarily boring, but like, you know, it's kind of generic. Yeah, so like, I think that kind of adds a bit of a cool element to what I'm doing, because I am this kind of playing this character, but I'm just kind of keeping it very kind of normal in the background kind of thing.
Now we're going to have to wrap it up. What are you doing? What's coming up in the near future for you? What are you at? Or
well, all of us at Bad Arts Entertainment are constantly working on stuff. I plug them too as well as myself. I know Truss has got an EP on the way, and me and him will have a field literature album. I don't know when it'll happen, but it will happen within the next 12 months, I hope. But for me, I've got the Conan Massacre EP, which is a trap album I'm working on, or trap EP, sorry. 7 tracks for the 7 Deadly Sins, because that's the kind of theme of the project. That's going to be coming out on my birthday, so all the more reason to buy it. Because we always release our stuff on Bandcamp first, because Spotify, you don't get shit from Spotify. You know?
Well, everybody should really like. And then people should support. Get it on Bandcamp.
Yeah, because I look at my Spotify stats, I'm getting a few thousand streams in every song. It's kind of like, you know, come on, if you like it that much, why not pay a $5 or a $10 for a project and you have it for life?
Yeah.
Because genuinely, like, I withdraw the money from Spotify every few months. It's like, jeez, it's like, you know, I can buy a Happy Meal with that, like, you know.
So people can go to Bandcamp to find your music.
Yeah, look up Bad Arts Entertainment and you'll find all of our music. If you don't like my music, buy one that you'll like something else there, and all the money goes to the same place. We're all kind of saving money through that, and for the future, for something like a studio or a, you know, travel or whatever we plan to do in the future, that kind of thing.
And just quickly, trap, it's a new kind of
avenue for me.
Avenue for you.
Yeah, I don't think I've released any. I've got like there's a trap beat here and there. There's one trap track on my last release, and there's like one on the last field literature release. But this is all trap dark kind of. If you listen to like the likes of Devilish Trio or 3-6 Mafia or Suicide Boys, that's the best kind of way to put a name on it. Like, and I don't think I've really heard anything that in Ireland that kind of sounds like my style of trap. So I hope it's something that's kind of a bit new to people.
Well, we look forward to that. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for, because Laura, you want to come in with a question?
I just want people to know where to go, Connor, to buy the tickets for the raffle.
Just contact me on Instagram or Facebook, whichever. You'll find me, Conor McMurrow, on Facebook, or Instagram, DJ Green Effigiul in Irish for official. And just contact me and we'll sort out whatever way, PayPal, Revolut, bank transfer, whatever way you like. Doesn't really matter to me. And then you just pick your numbers. I'll put you down on the list, and then like this current raffle is going to be happening toward the end of July. I haven't picked an exact date. It's kind of giving people time to pay whenever they can, because obviously some people, they've got bills to pay and stuff like that. So I'll give them some time. So I'll say the last quarter of July is when this one will happen, and I've done one every month since I started doing them in May. So
brilliant. It'll
probably be a monthly thing as long as the enthusiasm keeps up.
Excellent.
So, Danny, are we going to listen to Temple Bar?
Yeah, we're going to play out with Temple Bars, and thanks for being my reminder of where to go in this interview again. But anyways, and Connor, thanks very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
What things look like opposed to what things sound like. You know what I mean? Before, we ain't know what MCs look like until we went to the party and seen them rocking. You know what I'm saying? Or seen them, you know, most time you see them rock on the show before you even knew. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, before video, you know, so, you know, you really be going off the sound of the record. Straight skills. See, once it started getting more publicized and, you know, it started being hip-hop, started being more of a money making thing. Then you get these corporate ideas where you wanna put what it looks like to sell what it sounds like. We're dealing with music. So what I did was I said, alright, I'm gonna come with the angle of it don't matter what I look like, you know, it don't matter what the artists look like, it's more what the artists sound like. So the mask really represents the whole, like, to rebel against trying to sell the product as a human being, you know what I mean?
Late night in a hotbox car, cause the daytime's not for a hotshot star. And so we blaze judgment of the top shot jag. Got lots of case points but near a cop got far. We're on a back road, the chats is all slow, not in a tack mode, no tax, it's all gold. I got a jack flow, I'm stacked with raw notes. I wanna smack clothes and crack someone's cold. There's lights up in the sky, like diamonds in my eyes. I have no fear of flying and my price is on the rise. I keep my rear from dying and my sights up on the prize. The beer's not one for lying as I tie up all you guys. An outlaw with some tunage, a southpaw with the music. A mouthpiece so damn ruthless, I'm about it, can't refuse. It's like I tracks that bounce you through this on the couch. You cannot beat the smoking ounce of something fruity. Kill the crowd cause they are truthless. I'm laughing in my jacket cause I'm basking in this racket. You're actually asking me, am I dancing in this madness? I am passionately fastened out of fashion and I'm not saddened. I'm a dastardly bastard, thousand ashes of a dead pageant. I'm familiar with a mic, it's like I'm pulling a gun. I got you wishing it's a sight till you're done full of slugs. You think I'm skating at a knife, I got no love for you thugs. Then right, I stick it in your wife while I duster with drugs. I still wear white tennis shoes in my Adidas trackies. Got the Mackenzie, got the Reeboks, make sure it's always matching. I'm in a frenzy, take the week, I've got some new plans I'm hatching. Say fuck your Benzo, fuck your friends, oh I'ma do bands while scratching. This is Irish hip hop, not that shite from chip shops. I got my island on a bop, track is tight like slip knots. They keep on miming to your slop like they've been dying in a rocks. I preach it violent till they're silent, it's a crime with no loss. I probably couldn't make it dance, probably couldn't make it sing. I'm just a man in baggy pants, got the feelers and some bling. If you're asking about the mask, I'm an agent on the drink. If you're chatting about the past, I turn evil from the spliffs. All the action I've surpassed, there's a reason I exist. Like you're blasting out the ass like a needle to its tip. I got a terminal disease, I will burst you from the trees. This is bollocks versus me, I'm a person, you're a fiend. You could call it hurting me, but I'm certain it's your dream. Bet your wallet's cursing me, close the curtain on that scene. Murder him, he's mean, sure but you're a queen. All the dirt inside your gi, maggots lurking in your team. Got an open spot for a menace. Caught you hoping for a spot of tennis. I might just get you shot if you discredit. How can you know the plot? You never read it. I just nod the clocks and then I spend it. Talking to my watch, I'm not pretending. Please rewind the VCR before we die from meaty ores. Please let me lie with meaty whores. Or maybe in the future my B-tapes were not ignored. I blaze myself a suitor, I pour myself a can and gaze into computers and I formulate a plan. I'm not trailing with these losers, I'm an orphan in this trance. Stuff the bailiffs into sewers, I will scorn them with a slap. I'm craving that magic, cause I'm raving mad with antics. I'm a slave in this habit. You ever dated half a Manson? I'm Ted Bundy of the money, Jeffrey Dahmer of the dapper, Edward Kemper of the message, BTK is the rapper. Let's take it home, Larry Murphy of the dirty. This ain't a soul, it's a nest without the birdie. Fuck off.
It's more of a sound, so, you know, and at the same time, you know, it's something different, you know what I'm saying? And it fits with the theme of the rebel, the villain, where, you know, to him, he don't care about the fame and all that shit. That shit is, there's no consequence, you know what I mean? It's more of the message of what's being said.